What kind of books do you like to read? What kind of books do you like to read?
I love reading mystery novels. I love reading mystery novels.
Have you read any good books lately? Have you read any good books lately?
I often read ebooks on my tablet. I often read ebooks on my tablet.
Who's your favorite author? Who's your favorite author? I like fantasy novels for their imaginative worlds. I like fantasy novels for their imaginative worlds. Do you prefer physical books or ebooks? Do you prefer physical books or ebooks? I enjoy reading classics to learn about past eras. I enjoy reading classics to learn about past eras. I just joined a local book club. I just joined a local book club. Reading helps me relax before bedtime. Reading helps me relax before bedtime. I keep track of the books I've read in a journal. I keep track of the books I've read in a journal. Do you skim or read every word carefully? Do you skim or read every word carefully?
I love the smell of new books. I love the smell of new books.
Let's check out the local library this weekend. Let's check out the local library this weekend. I find self-help books very motivating. I find self-help books very motivating. Which genre do you avoid reading? Which genre do you avoid reading? I read poetry when I want something thoughtful. I read poetry when I want something thoughtful. Do you read multiple books at the same time? Do you read multiple books at the same time?
I love getting lost in historical fiction. I love getting lost in historical fiction. I usually take notes while reading nonfiction. I usually take notes while reading nonfiction.
Let's read a book together and discuss it. Let's read a book together and discuss it. I'm collecting first editions of certain authors. I'm collecting first editions of certain authors. I love the illustrations in children's books. I love the illustrations in children's books. Do you follow any reading challenge lists? Do you follow any reading challenge lists? I think audiobooks are great for long commutes. I think audiobooks are great for long commutes. Have you ever read a book in one sitting? Have you ever read a book in one sitting? I love to discover new authors at bookstores. I love to discover new authors at bookstores. Do you prefer reading fiction or nonfiction? Do you prefer reading fiction or nonfiction? Reading improves my vocabulary. Reading improves my vocabulary. I enjoy reading book reviews before I buy a book. I enjoy reading book reviews before I buy a book. I find biographies of famous people inspiring. I find biographies of famous people inspiring. Let's visit a big bookstore together. Let's visit a big bookstore together. I'm interested in learning about different cultures. I'm interested in learning about different cultures. This book changed my perspective on life. This book changed my perspective on life. I like to reread my favorite novels every few years. I like to reread my favorite novels every few years. Do you take notes or highlight passages? Do you take notes or highlight passages? Reading is a great way to unwind. Reading is a great way to unwind. I love discovering hidden gems in secondhand shops. I love discovering hidden gems in secondhand shops. Let's share our reading lists. Let's share our reading lists. I enjoy reading on my e-reader during travel. I enjoy reading on my e-reader during travel. I think I learn a lot from travel guides. I think I learn a lot from travel guides. Do you like books with illustrations or photos? Do you like books with illustrations or photos? I often read books recommended by friends. I often read books recommended by friends. I prefer quiet places to read. I prefer quiet places to read. Let's exchange books after we finish reading them. Let's exchange books after we finish reading them. I read at least one chapter per day. I read at least one chapter per day. Do you read books in foreign languages? Do you read books in foreign languages? I joined an online book discussion group. I joined an online book discussion group. Reading helps me fall asleep faster. Reading helps me fall asleep faster. I love the thrill of a good suspense novel. I love the thrill of a good suspense novel.
I sometimes read motivational quotes. I sometimes read motivational quotes.
Do you enjoy reading graphic novels or manga? Do you enjoy reading graphic novels or manga?
I learn so much from well-researched nonfiction. I learn so much from well-researched nonfiction.
Let's browse the bestseller list for new ideas. Let's browse the bestseller list for new ideas.
I enjoy reading about psychology and human behavior. I enjoy reading about psychology and human behavior. Do you have a favorite book series? Do you have a favorite book series? I think physical books are more collectible. I think physical books are more collectible. I often read in coffee shops. I often read in coffee shops. Are there any authors you follow on social media? Are there any authors you follow on social media? Let's recommend each other one book every month. Let's recommend each other one book every month. I like analyzing the writing style of different authors. I like analyzing the writing style of different authors. Sometimes I read book summaries if I'm short on time. Sometimes I read book summaries if I'm short on time. I think reading can broaden our horizons. I think reading can broaden our horizons. Let's discuss the plot twists in that novel. Let's discuss the plot twists in that novel. Do you use a bookmark or fold pages? Do you use a bookmark or fold pages? I like to read inspirational stories before bed. I like to read inspirational stories before bed. I enjoy comparing film adaptations to the original book. I enjoy comparing film adaptations to the original book. I find reference books useful for my research. I find reference books useful for my research. Let's read a short story collection. Let's read a short story collection. Do you take reading breaks during work or study? Do you take reading breaks during work or study? I always get new ideas from non-fiction books. I always get new ideas from non-fiction books. I love the descriptive language in literary fiction. I love the descriptive language in literary fiction. Let's read a best-selling novel and see what's special. Let's read a best-selling novel and see what's special. I think reading biographies can teach life lessons. I think reading biographies can teach life lessons. I have a habit of underlining my favorite quotes. I have a habit of underlining my favorite quotes. Do you read more for fun or for knowledge? Do you read more for fun or for knowledge? I enjoy slow-paced stories that focus on characters. I enjoy slow-paced stories that focus on characters. Let's swap our favorite authors. Let's swap our favorite authors. I like collecting quotes in a notebook. I like collecting quotes in a notebook. I sometimes read aloud to practice pronunciation. I sometimes read aloud to practice pronunciation. I enjoy a wide range of genres, from romance to sci-fi. I enjoy a wide range of genres, from romance to sci-fi. Do you prefer standalone novels or series? Do you prefer standalone novels or series? I like to write down interesting vocabulary. I like to write down interesting vocabulary. Let's read a classic we've both never read. Let's read a classic we've both never read. I think reading helps with stress relief. I think reading helps with stress relief. I use a dictionary when I come across difficult words. I use a dictionary when I come across difficult words. Let's set a reading goal for this month. Let's set a reading goal for this month. Do you read mostly fiction or non-fiction? Do you read mostly fiction or non-fiction? I like the freedom of imagining the scenes myself. I like the freedom of imagining the scenes myself. I'd love to write a book someday. I'd love to write a book someday. Let's make a list of must-read classics. Let's make a list of must-read classics. Reading helps me understand different perspectives. Reading helps me understand different perspectives. I think we can learn empathy through stories. I think we can learn empathy through stories. Do you have a favorite place to read at home? Do you have a favorite place to read at home? I enjoy the suspense in detective novels. I enjoy the suspense in detective novels. Let's read a novel in a different language. Let's read a novel in a different language. I can spend hours browsing in a bookstore. I can spend hours browsing in a bookstore. I like to review the books I've read on a blog. I like to review the books I've read on a blog. I have a growing personal library. I have a growing personal library. Reading is one of my favorite hobbies. Reading is one of my favorite hobbies.